Hi, this is Scott Novak of Synergy Wellness Marketing in Chandler, Arizona, and thank you for checking out this webinar entitled How to Get More Health and Wellness Clients or Patients in this coming year. This is a picture of me down here. This is all my contact information. We'll be getting into this a little more, but what this is all about, this webinar is intended to show you some tips and tricks on how to improve your overall marketing presence. Now, my agency is a digital marketing agency, but there's much more than just online. But in this webinar, I do want to help you clarify your marketing message and strengthen your core foundation and show you some ways to beef up your engine so you can compete with the bigger race cars on your track, so to speak. And really anyone can benefit from this webinar today, whether you're doing your web stuff, you're marketing yourself, or you hire others. It's really, really important to have a solid understanding and really a broader understanding of marketing, and even down to the nitty gritty. And we're not going to get super technical. So if you're concerned about technicalities and all types of acronyms, I think you'll enjoy this quite a bit. I really intend these types of videos to be understood by pretty much anybody that owns their own business. So this is for anyone who makes a living from their health and wellness business or clinic. So it could be you as an audiologist, a naturopathic doctor, could be a gym studio, a trainer, personal trainer, Pilates, yoga studios, health and wellness product retailers, as long as your focus is on growth, giving, and continuing to do the work that you're passionate about. I have learned in my 20 plus years of marketing and sales that it really is important that you tap into your passion. And that's what my personal theme is for this coming year. So in this 40 minutes coming up here, I do want to show you how to grow your client or patient base, build a more reliable and residual income, and show you how to work on your business, not so much in your business. And have the ability to have more free time with your family or loved ones, more personal time, meditation time, whatever's important to you. Time is so valuable, and you don't want to get bogged down in things that you're not necessarily interested in or good at. I want to help you focus on what your strengths are. And some may want to build up their business to a stronger position in order to sell it down the road. So this is all for you. Basically, what I'm going to show you is the framework of how to get more phone calls, inquiries, and booked appointments instead of uncertain income, frustration, and overall concern that keeps you up at night. So if this sounds like you, then this could be a good webinar for you. Some months, maybe the money's coming in pretty reliably, but it's difficult to maintain that. Or maybe you start out every month wondering where your next batch of new clients is going to come from. Or maybe you secretly know that your work is worth much more than what you're charging now, but you're just worried that raising your rates is going to hold people back from actually buying. Maybe you're seeing other competitors, people in your industry making great money, growing exponentially, and you wonder what the heck they're doing that you're not. Maybe you're working too hard in your business. You feel that burnout. Too many hours put in, just too many activities. Maybe you're wearing just too many hats. Too many responsibilities, just spinning too many plates and worried that one is going to drop and suffer the consequences from that. Maybe you feel like your online marketing is a pivotal lever in your business's success, but you just haven't gotten it worked out yet. Well, the good news is this webinar is for you, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Here's the problem from all that. You're stuck in one of several possible scenarios. One is you're relying too much on referrals, or maybe you're trying to do all the marketing in-house or by yourself or somebody you know. Or you've hired someone to do your marketing, but it's just not working. You're not getting the results that you would like to see. And here's the problem with each of those. If you're a referral type of person, society has changed to the point where we just don't have the time to spread the word for you anymore. People don't have the one-on-one conversations anymore. And, when people hop on Facebook or what have you, they're not really going to be your evangelist, so to speak. They've got other priorities, I guess. So that's really tough to get referrals and persuade people to write a review and all that. The second option is you're trying to do the marketing by yourself, or maybe you've hired somebody in your company, or maybe you've got a niece or a nephew or somebody that's doing things for you. But if you're trying to do this yourself, it's a completely new skill set. That is not what you went to school for, most likely. So you have to beef up on all types of new knowledge and compete with other marketers out there. And that can be a daunting task. And really, who has time for that? At the end of the day, when you get home, do you really want to put in a couple hours of marketing homework? And a lot of people just don't have that interest, or they just know that's not how they're wired. That's not what they're called to do. Let's face it, marketing is a constantly changing landscape. So it's really tough to keep up with all that in addition to everyday life stuff, plus your business stuff. So that's a real challenge. The third option, maybe you hired somebody to do your marketing and it's just not working out. Well, this is actually your smartest move, other than the fact it's not working out, but that's not necessarily your fault. When you hire somebody, you expect good results. But if things aren't working, you're the boss. Take charge of your business and your business's future destiny. You are in charge, so if you're not happy, don't be afraid to make a change. The new model is to delegate to a focused specialist. Just like somebody hires you as a specialist, maybe they could learn all your skills on their own, but most likely not. And for all the reasons I just mentioned, the businesses now that are open and adaptable to change are the ones that are going to survive. That's just law of the jungle, and it's more crucial now than ever, just in our changing times and just everything going on in the world. Once you move to the new model, you'll have a greater ability to generate clients on demand and with predictability month after month. You'll have an exact idea of how much it costs to get a new client and how long it took to get that new client. You'll know where your business is generated from and which marketing efforts to scale up and which ones to toss aside. And then you can get back to doing what you really love. And you can do all of this while tapping back into that joy that you had when you first got into your business and started working with your first couple clients before everything got so complicated and draining and truly not fun. So if this makes sense to you, let me introduce myself. If you're with me this far, my name is Scott Novak. I'm here in Chandler, Arizona, and I've got 20 years plus of marketing and sales experience. I've owned my own digital marketing agency since 2014, and my focus is on outcomes and results. That is my mantra. My motto is no excuses, just results. Those are words that I've lived by. And let me tell you just a little of my own transition. My first agency was Local Lead Link LLC. You can find it online. And this focused on home services. And I worked with home builders, bathroom contractors, roofers, air duct cleaners, just anybody that was involved in improving a home on some level and helping people out. And here are just some quick results that I got for clients. This is a home builder that I worked with, and these were the first couple months. This is just the first 3 months of work. Started out with just not much going on here, and then about a month into this, we started getting some traction, and up we went. I want to see a nice growth chart here. And what I do is I do a lot of homework on things like keywords. Keywords are the words that customers would actually search for when they're finding your service. And I look at things like search volume, and I look at competitors, and I measure where we started out. So for instance, here we started out at position 38, moved up 8 spots to position 30. Here we moved up 62 spots to 17. That's pretty good. Here's another chart. Just a lot of green arrows here. That's what I like to see. Nice looking chart here. So I don't want to take too long, but this is results that I'm talking about, and really nice review. This is my favorite review. This is a lawn care service, and he says, I was with a couple of large companies in the past for all of my internet advertising, website, and so on. And I get people calling me every week telling me how they can get me business, but no one has ever come through until Scott with Local Lead Link. I've been with Local Lead Link for about 2 years now. I can honestly say that I'm spending less money and seeing tons of results. I used to only get 4 or 5 website inquiries in a year. Now I get 4 or 5 a week easy. So thank you, Chris, for that. And I don't show you this stuff to impress you, but just, impress upon you that I know how to get results. I'm not just talking here. Results are super important to me. So back to my own transition, I was in these home services businesses and helping people out, and, things were going really well until my wife's health struggles introduced me to the world of natural health. And this is a picture of me and my lovely wife, Chelsea. And she ended up with a lot of health concerns in late 2017 and into 2018. And she was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease. She had adrenal fatigue. She had an autoimmune disorder, and gluten-free issues and allergies. Just a really, really tough situation for her and for me. And she went to all kinds of doctors, went through the health insurance maze, lots of bills, lots of calls to health insurance companies, just kind of a mess. And she decided to seek out a natural health doctor, a naturopathic doctor. And that was the first time she actually got results. And it inspired me to pursue better health for myself, but help others in the process. I figure if my wife went through this, there's others that have got to be in the same situation. And natural health really struck a chord with me. And we started watching the Gaia TV network, and we watched David Wilcock and Regina Meredith and Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza and all these big names. And it just really turned my world around, and it really inspired me to get into this field. And I realized that you are the types of people that I want to align myself with. You're the people that I want to serve. They say, surround yourself with the people that you want to be like, that will lift you up. And that is the world I want to be in. So I sold my business. I sold Local Lead Link, and I founded Synergy Wellness Marketing to focus on amplifying the voices that need to be heard in the health and wellness field. So if you're helping people, if your mission, if your calling is to help others through health, then we should talk. My question is, how can I serve you best? Well, what I did is I sent out an email survey, and I got a lot of results. My number one question was, what's the biggest challenge that you have in your business? And the biggest result from that survey was they want more patients and clients. You just want more phone calls, more inquiries, just more patients or clients knocking at your door and becoming a lifetime client and helping your bottom line, your monthly and annual revenue. So in this webinar, I want to share some knowledge to empower you, to help you make more confident decisions in your business. And there are some secrets in here I'm going to share, but here's the number one. Success in your business has more to do with psychology than with technical tactics. Okay, people will, I see the emails that come through from overseas and what have you. You've got all kinds of errors on your, H1 and blah, blah, blah. You've got all these acronym problems with your website. And it just befuddles people. And it's just a spammy approach. That some of the technical errors may exist, yes, but there's a lot of components that go into you having a successful business, and it has to do more with psychology, and it has more to do with connecting with your clients. So you have to put your clients first and what they want. And you've probably heard this before, but maybe not in the way I'm about to show you. So let's kind of get started here. Ultimately, you want to tell your story so that they know you, they like you, and they trust you and want to do business with you. So that's really what it comes down to, how to tell your story. Help them take action with you. That's so important. So I'm going to share with you a couple things here. The first part of this is going to be the bird's eye view, the big picture. I'm going to talk about marketing on a larger bird's eye view level. And then the second part is going to dig in a little closer. We're going to fly down closer to the ground, and I'm going to show you some more technical things. But again, don't worry, I'm not going to overwhelm you with technical acronyms or anything like that. You'll be able to follow even if you have no web experience or no online experience at all. So the first part of this is that bird's eye view, and this is how to get more patients or clients with a stronger marketing presence. And your marketing presence needs three primary things. Number one, a marketing funnel, and I'm going to explain all these things in depth here. This is a variety of strategies of lead generation and a whole process to walk your customer into a purchase and lead them through and qualify them. Two is to help you get traffic coming to your website. And three is to convert them into new patients or clients. So this is just kind of an illustration or diagram of your marketing engine. So if this is a beefed up, Indy 500 car, your engine is at the core, but there's three primary parts, and I'm going to explain all of them. And a lot of people talk about funnels, traffic, and conversion. I'm going to actually explain this to you in a way that a business owner can understand. So your marketing funnel, number one, let's talk about this. This is where your marketing is casting a broad net to capture as many leads as possible. And then nurture those prospective clients through the purchasing decision. And each of those candidates is qualified through this funnel and narrowed down in each stage. And what that looks like is this. And you can pause this here. We're 18 minutes into this already. But this is something you may want to look at later. I can send you this slide. Awareness is the top one. This is the biggest challenge. These are things like your advertising, your email campaign, webinars, maybe it's a trade show that you attended, just getting people to become aware of you one way or another. And there can be many different methods. Once they've been made aware of you, then you want to capture their interest through some type of engagement and positioning yourself as a leader in your field. This can also be followed up with through an email campaign, targeted content, newsletters, maybe offer a class. And then we get into consideration and some of the other factors. I won't bore you with all this. We could talk about this privately if you like. But the second part of all of this is getting traffic and getting anyone that's searching for you to take your exit, so to speak. You want traffic coming to your street, so to speak. In order to get traffic, you just have to be visible. You have to be found. So that's part of the funnel. So these all work synergistically, so to speak. There's a lot of methods to becoming more visible. And we're going to circle back to this topic. Traffic is a huge, huge part because it's super important that people find you. And we're going to talk about conversion next, but this is always a question that comes up. Which is more important, traffic or conversion? Well, you need traffic for anyone to see you in the first place. So you think, well, that's really important, but you need conversion psychology for anyone to take action. So the answer is they're equally important. So what does conversion mean? Well, it's converting a curious prospect into a phone call, an appointment, and a lifetime client. And that's what my survey said people want the most. So this is psychology in action. And I'm going to explain this here in a bit. Without the right conversion psychology, you could have all the traffic in the world, but it doesn't do you any good if nobody takes any action. So ultimately, they have a problem that they need solved. Like this poor gentleman over here needs a little more modern set of hearing aids. They have a problem. They know they need solved. They're looking for a solution. And are you the one to solve it? Can you prove it? How are you going to prove it? Well, you've got to tell your story, and it's got to be authentic. So there's 4 keys to this. The first two are really quick. They're really objective, and they can be answered very, very quickly. And the first is, do you offer what I need to solve my problem? Well, in the case of the hearing aids person, let's say somebody's looking for hearing aids. They come to your site, and you're an audiologist, you're an ear doctor, and they see that you offer hearing aids. Right on the front page, there's hearing aids. This immediately is answered, and the quicker you can answer that question, the better. The second is, am I in the right place? Are you local to me? Are you within driving distance to me if you're a local practice or studio? Or are you out of state? Did I somehow stumble upon you by accident? So these can be answered really, really quickly. The 3 and 4 questions are a little more complicated. They're more subjective, and they have to do with feelings. And they have to convert the skeptic. And my favorite skeptic over here, Agent Scully, we want to convert her from skeptic to a believer. So that's the objective here. The first question is going to be, do I like you? Do I trust you? And do I see myself working with you? This is a really important question that you need to answer. And it can be answered throughout the entirety of your site, but there's got to be breadcrumbs along the way. The last question is, how are you different than any of your competitors? What's your USP, your unique specialty position, also known as unique sales position? So what makes you different than anybody else? Why would I go with you versus someone down the block? This conversion requires psychology. Your pictures and images on your site need to reflect your solution and your uniqueness. So the pictures have to be congruent. Somebody comes with a problem, you can explain the solution, that you are the solution. So the words on your page, also known as content, have to explain that quickly and clearly, and tell your story in a way that builds trust. And it also has to use persuasive language and lead to a call to action. CTA, call to action. That's having a button somewhere on the site that says call now to schedule your initial consultation or whatever it is that you offer. So let's take a look at an example here of a site that contains those components. So I've got a site this is a site that I built with my wife, Chelsea, that's for an audiologist here in Tempe, Arizona, brilliant doctor named Dr. Alan Rowe and his wife, Amy. Just a joy to work with, just super great people. This is a site that we built, very easy to navigate, very clear what it is that they do and where they are. And they kind of explain their philosophy here. What's the end result? Somebody's got a problem. They want to live their life to the fullest because they have hearing issues. And here they are. We're building trust. We're introducing them to just a real cute picture of this married audiologist pair. And you know, if you met them, you'd see this is just genuine. They're just great people. And Dr. Alan Rowe, he's a nationally recognized audiologist. I give some credentials here. His wife Amy, her credentials. And then we introduced their services. Here's the problem solution, getting a little more detailed. We know that it's ears, but now we're talking about something, you know, some of the more specific issues. So we get into some of the things they offer, hearing aids, and then you can see there's a call to action. These all link to individual pages. Testimonials, slider here, contact, here's the call to action. Some persuasive language right in here. Easy form to fill out, not super long. Even if they want to schedule online, super easy, quick. And here's the footer and some more credentials. So that's just the homepage alone. It's actually quite an extensive site because Dr. Rowe's written some really great things. But this is sort of what I'm talking about with conversion. A lot of sites don't do this. You know, there are sites they're really clinical or they're really vague. And it doesn't speak to the person. It's not solving their problem. You have to be engaging. A website nowadays is it's not a business card anymore. You have to be interactive with this. It comes down to, like I mentioned earlier, the user experience or UX. You've got to appeal to emotions and logic because people will buy on emotion. They have a good feeling about this and they'll call you. But they'll justify it. They'll justify that call or signing up with you with logic because you explained why you're different and what you offer and why it's great and how it solves their problem. A website without conversion in mind is not going to sell. You can't put up a bunch of pictures and maybe a paragraph and expect people to be persuaded by that. Your website is your best salesperson. It works round the clock. And you know, most web designers out there, if you hired a web designer, a lot of people get frustrated because they paid all this money for a website and it's not making the phone ring. Because most web designers just make good-looking sites. It looks pretty, but it's not designed to convert. So my company designs great-looking sites with conversion psychology. And there's a lot that goes into that. If you check out that website, tinnitusaz.com, that I just showed you, you'll see some examples of the kind of work that we do. And it's my wife and I that work together. Let's get into the third part of this marketing engine, which is the traffic element. This is arguably the most important, but you've got to have that conversion too. But it's all a synergy, like I said. And you can have the most glorious website on the planet, but if no one sees it in the first place, well, it's not working for you. So it's all about visibility, just like a restaurant downtown. It's all location, location, location. And you want to be seen as prominently as you can by your searchers. And that's done through a variety of different strategies. There's the SEO, the search engine optimization method. We're going to come back to this. There's Google AdWords. This is all part of your funnel strategies. There's Facebook ads. There's just a lot of different options for you out there. But we're going to hammer on SEO because whether you do Facebook ads or YouTube ads or video marketing or even a referral marketing, you need a solid engine. You need a strong foundation to your site in the first place. So I'm going to show you how to dominate your local listings. The first is going to be through content. And those are the words on your page that contain more relevant keywords than your competitors. And you're also seen as having authoritative content that serves the searcher. Now, a lot of people talk about Google and they're just, how did they get to be the biggest? Well, they've done the best job at serving the searcher. They serve up the most relevant results. And they do that through measuring keywords and ranking sites that have authoritative content. higher than ones that don't. So I'm going to get into this a little more. The second component is citations, and this is citing, C-I-T-E, your business in the most relevant and popular directories and search engines. I'm going to show you illustrations of that. 3 is having a mobile-friendly and responsive site with a secure, also known as SSL designation, and having backlinks and being seen as a trusted and popular site by getting these links from other relevant websites in your niche or other powerful websites in general. Now, there are over 200 other ranking factors in Google's algorithm. So you could nitpick what I just said, those 4 core things, and said, hey, you left out voice search. Yeah, there's so many factors. And nobody knows the secret recipe in Google's algorithm. Nobody does except for Matt Cutts, who's the head honcho at Google that handles the search engine optimization aspect of Google. So these would include things like search intent, page speed, bounce rate, site architecture, schema, just a lot of technical factors. I'm not going to get into that because it's boring to a lot of people, and I don't think most people can relate to that. But you can understand creating an outstanding user experience with an engaging and informative website that answers your clients' questions and objections. You can handle any objection on a website pretty much. And in their decision process, you can knock those down one by one right on your website. It's just having a powerhouse salesperson on your team working for you around the clock. All of these 4 components, and really all 200 plus, there's a synergy to all of these. And that's why I called my company Synergy Wellness Marketing. There's a synergy to your marketing engine in the funnels and the conversion and the traffic. There's a synergy to ranking a site. There's a synergy to having the right marketing choice behind you. So that's why I called my company what I did, Synergy Wellness Marketing. All these things add up, having a power that rewards you with more traffic, more clients, and more revenue. More money. That's what most people want, just to use toward growing their business or selling it or whatever you want to do. Hire another person so you can spend more time with your family, whatever. Why does all this matter? It comes down to visibility. When somebody searches, they're not going to spend 10 minutes searching just the right one. They're going to make a choice pretty quickly. So if I search audiologist Phoenix AZ, I want a hearing doctor, I'm probably not going to search too far here. I'm going to choose one of these top ones in the map, or maybe I'm going to choose one in the top 5. This is proven through statistics and studies. They found that 71% of all searches actually stop at page 1. So only 28 and change percent go past onto page 2. And the first 5 results actually made up 67% of all the clicks. And so it's super important that you be prominent on the search engines. In fact, the number 1 result got 31% of all the clicks. So if there were, for example, 100 searches in a month for your city plus your specialty, so like that example I gave, audiologist Phoenix. If there's 100 searches, number 1 guy, number 1 position is going to get 31 of those 100. That's a chunk. Number 2 drops down in half to 14. Then number 3 down to 10%. Now we're at 7%, 5% down and down and down and down. You hear you're fighting for scraps, and that's not where you want to be. So it comes down to just sheer percentages and just the math of it all. So how do we do that? How do we get you higher? Well, the first is going to be content. Content is still king. Google is ranking sites on authoritative content. So content is basically the words on your web page, your website, that explain who you are and what it is that you do. And there's got to be that conversion psychology and a call to action if you want the phone calls. But Google doesn't count for that necessarily. They're looking at keywords in the content. So, for example, prom limo. Imagine you're in high school and you want to rent a you want to rent a limo for your prom. Well, that's probably a word you're just going to type into your search engine, prom limo, and who's going to pop up? Well, I use this example because when I first started out, one of my first clients was a limousine company, and it was spring, and they said, Scott, we got to get more leads for prom. We're getting worried now that we haven't gotten any prom leads. And so I said, okay, well, let me take a look. And I looked under the hood, and I found not once was the word prom listed anywhere on their website. Not a single time was the word prom. So Google can't read your mind. They don't put the association that limo serves prom. You have to write it on your page. So I use this as an example because keyword research is really, really important. So that's something I do when I help clients. And I could do that for you on an a la carte basis if you're interested. So that's something to consider. Ultimately, your ranking depends on the authoritative content that serves the searcher. And I think I mentioned that earlier with Google. Another study done by Moz, big firm when it comes to search engines, they found that long form content ranks higher in Google search results than short form. So little short 200-word blog posts really don't do a whole lot of good. In fact, the average word count of a Google first page result was almost 1,900 words on the entire site. Now, that's a fair amount of words. Most websites that I see out there are very bare. And, people think, hey, I'm being concise. Yeah, I think there's some value to being concise and answering questions thoroughly and quickly and not spending a whole lot of time explaining what you do. But when it comes to ranking, it's super important. So I recommend expand your content. Really explain what you do. And in some cases, you probably need to double or triple the content on your pages. Most, the golden number is 600 words per page. Less than that, Google doesn't really factor as a considered page. It just doesn't think that you're serious. That's just sort of the magic number. Be more descriptive to what you do and be more authoritative. Explain really and thoroughly what you do, why you're different, what techniques do you use. Talk about the components at your clinic, your practice, your studio. Talk about what makes you you. Why are you different? Really be descriptive in your language and what it's like to attend your business, what it's like to be a patient or a client for you. Put yourself in the shoes of your client. I do recommend adding a blog page with news and updates because another ranking factor is regular, consistent content that Google sees, that you're updating your site. And you don't have to refresh the homepage. You just have to add a new article here and there. Do you have to blog every day? No, not at all. Maybe once or twice a month. More if you're ambitious. It's always good. I mean, more content is always better as long as you're serving a purpose. You're educating and providing value to your client. Along with that additional content, though, is just naturally you're going to come upon keywords that people search for. So that's a bonus. And those details are going to be rewarded one way or another with higher ranking and a better conversion because people are trusting you more. You're providing value to them. You're explaining what you do, and they're becoming more confident with you. Let's talk about citations. This is the second big component, and these are the directories and search engines that are out there. These are your Google places, the Google Maps, Yahoo, Bing, those are the big ones. Bing is becoming popular for more of an older demographic. Yelp, people look at Yelp for reviews, and all of these different ones. Yellow Pages is still a thing online. Merchant Circle, Hot Frog, Manta. There's just a lot of them. There's really over 300. You don't have to be in every single one. Just be in the majors. But what they want to see, what you're going to cite, that's where citations come from. A cite, C-I-T-E, is your NAP, which is your name, your business name, your address, and your phone number. And you'll put in your website too. But what Google wants to see is this name, address, and phone number consistent in all the directories. So they like to see all the phone numbers being the same, the address the same. If you moved, that you've updated all these directories. If you changed your phone number, you've updated it. If you had a business name change, that you've updated it. They want to see all the planets aligned. And that builds trust in Google's eyes, and they'll reward you with a higher ranking that way too. Now, citations have a big factor in Google Maps. And I showed you that picture of that audiologist Phoenix. That's Google Maps right at the top. Google values that Maps position for local businesses very highly, so citations are very important. Also, just kind of a bonus, being in more directories gives you more eyeballs on your site. You've just got more opportunities to be found in these directories. There are people that search on Yellow Pages. There are people that search on Foursquare, or some of the other ones, Dex, etc. So you might get a website visit from that as well. Here's a tip though: get your business info checked throughout these directories and search engines to ensure the accuracy in your NAP, your NAP, your name, address, and phone number. And that's something I could do for you as well. Third component, being a mobile-friendly and a secure site. And what that means is having a mobile-friendly and responsive site, meaning your site is viewed properly on a smartphone and a tablet without having to resize. So if you have one of those old-fashioned websites that were done 5-6 years ago, that when you view it on the phone, it's tiny, tiny, tiny font, and you have to use your thumb and forefinger and kind of that little pinch expand move that you do when you need to blow things up. When people see that nowadays, they turn away from it. They hit their back button pretty hard, and they say, I don't have time for this. I'm not going to search, pinch expand for every single thing that I'm looking for, and they move on to your competitor. So you want to be mobile friendly. In fact, you have to now. And this is an article from American Express back in 2015, why having a mobile friendly site may be more important than ever. Google, this is right after Google announced that they are prioritizing mobile optimized websites in the search results on smartphones, boosting sites that are mobile friendly, and demoting, punishing those that aren't. This is back almost 4 years ago now. So it's really important. Google just now said that they have a mobile first indexing, meaning that they choose in their algorithm, they choose on a mobile level first over desktop, because now I think it's like 60% people view and search on their phones than they do a regular desktop computer. So it's really important. The second component is being a secure site, and that's having the little SSL designation. And you can see that very article that I cited there has this little HTTPS. That's really important, and it's got the little green lock. That means it's a secure connection, and it's really important, especially if you collect personal info. If you have an e-commerce site, you absolutely have to be SSL designated, or else you'll get the little warning. Like you won't even load your site. It'll come up and say, warning, this site is not secure. It may be a phishing scam or some type of malicious intent. Go back to safety now. So you don't want that. You can't have that, or else you just won't get any traffic, and it's just wasted effort. So it's not too difficult to get this. Backlinks, fourth major component. Backlinks, what are backlinks? Well, they are links from other websites to yours. So let's say it's Better Business Bureau, and you have your own page, you subscribe to them, and you paid the $600 a year or whatever, and they give you your own little web page that has all your contact information and your reviews and A+ rating, all those things. And there's a little button that says click here to view the website. And when you click on that button, it takes you away from the Better Business Bureau site to your website. That is considered a backlink. And that is a reputable site. Better Business Bureau, reputable, trusted site, and it has some power. There's a lot of pages, and they're a reputable organization, so that can be a valuable link to you. And the more reputable the link, the more authority and popularity Google is going to assume. So if you got a link from Better Business Bureau, and they don't, I won't get too technical on the follow and no follow designation, but I use that as an example. If it were just a straight out link from Better Business Bureau, that would be valuable. If you got a link from an industry site, let's say WebMD or Wikipedia, very authoritative sites, Google looks at those links. They can see all of your back engine. They can see what links you have from other sites. And they go, they got a link from Wikipedia. Well, heck yeah, I'm going to reward this website. I'm going to reward this business and move them up through the ranks. I'm going to give them a higher score. And boom, you're going to start seeing some movement on your search engine rankings. You're going to see yourself higher on the organic search, probably higher on the maps. As long as all the other components are in place, backlinks can be a turbo boost to your ranking. So they're super valuable. There are good links out there. There's bad links out there. There are people that have really spammy links. There's not all links are created equal. And there's good people that do linking as a service, just like SEO links. There's a couple different ones. So let me get into that a little more. The number of referring domains, meaning the number of backlinks, other websites that link to you, has a very strong influence on rankings. This is again that study from Moz. And they found that the number of unique referring domains was the strongest correlation in our entire study. So you see in this graph, the Google position was directly related to the number of referring domains that the number one position had. So whoever has the most links wins. All things being equal, if you have reputable, powerful, authoritative links, that's going to be huge for you. How do I get more backlinks? Well, there's a couple different ways. There's trade associations, there's your local organizations, suppliers that you have. Maybe they have a dealer locator page, that kind of thing. And then there's SEO links. So if you hire somebody that does SEO, they have to, you just have to choose wisely though on SEO. It can't be somebody that is, and I hate to say overseas because there are overseas people that do a good job, but a lot of times it's just junky links like, Louis Vuitton bags and Nike and Viagra and just a bunch of junk that doesn't do you any good. In fact, it does more harm than good. But good links can be a marketing investment that can really take things to the next level. So let's kind of wrap things up here. I know I've gone a little longer than I had expected, but there's just so much stuff that I wanted to share with you. Getting back to those four big components. So the big four are content, the citations that you've got to have, mobile friendly and responsive with SSL, good quality backlinks. And then we took a look at your marketing engine with your funnels and how to get better traffic and how to convert that traffic into new clients and new patients or more products sold or whatever it is that generates more revenue. So if all this stuff resonated with you and you need to make some moves here, you need to implement and or strengthen these components into your marketing, you've got a choice right now. You can, option A, continue doing as you have been, maybe make some minor improvements, really hope for better. And these are people that rely on referrals. Maybe you keep the marketing in-house, or you continue trying to figure this out on your own, or you're going to stay with your current outsourced marketing team and keep getting the same results you have been. Or you can choose option B, and that is make a change, take charge, make a bold move. And if you want someone in your corner that has your best interests in mind, your business intention, business heart at heart, and really someone that you can trust and is a specialist in health and wellness, not just a generalist that works with anybody and everybody, then let's talk. I've got some time that I've set aside over the next 5 days to chat with you and see if I can help. Now, I can't work with everybody, but these strategy sessions are 30 to 45-minute conversations. And what we do is just talk about your business challenges and see if we could be a good fit to work together. Like I said, I can't work with everyone. A lot of the businesses I work with are local, so I can't work with two people in the same regional area. It's just a conflict of interest, and it's not ethical, and I won't do that. So let's do this. Now is your time. If you want to make a change, you need to make some moves this coming year, bring in more revenue, get back to doing what you love, then let's schedule a strategy session. So here's my website, synergywellnessmarketing.com. You can find my scheduling button right on my contact page, or you can just call me and we could set up a time. My phone number is 480-470-2003. And again, my name is Scott Novak. I really thank you for staying with me this long. Hopefully you learned some things. Whether we do business or not is up to you and the results of our strategy session. But regardless, I hope you gain some information, and I hope that empowers you to grow your business and end up using that and just gaining some fruit from the seeds that you've already planted. So thank you again. Have a great day, and I hope to talk with you soon. Take care.